Hi guys, so today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I haven't been very well for the last week or so, and it's been about a week since I bought this piece of Silverside. Now anyone in Australia will tell you that Silverside, or corn Silverside, is part of our DNA. It's kind of our blood. So I'm going to make some. And it also helps to preserve your meat. It's a really early preservation method which will give you an extra week if you're not feeling up to cooking what you have and you don't have any room in the freezer. So let's get on with it. The Silverside comes from the inside of the rear quarter leg of the cow and is quite lean. Other people tend to use the brisket cut, which comes from the chest. It's a little gelatinous and it can be a bit fatty. Well, this isn't. So let's play with this one. Okay, so we're going to start off with 2 litres of water in our tub, and then we're going to add about a cupful of vinegar. I mean, you can use white vinegar. I don't have any, so I'm just using apple cider vinegar, which actually helps with the flavour a bit. Then we're going to add, cup of sugar, just white granulated sugar, nothing exciting. I've got fresh bay leaves from out in the garden, but you can use dried ones if you've got them. So basically what we're doing here is we're making ourselves a pickling brine. Now in mine, for this, I like to add a good tablespoon of fennel seeds, another good tablespoon of coriander seeds, a bit more. We're going to add couple of star anise, tablespoon of mustard seeds, yellow or brown, it doesn't matter. We're going to have maybe a dozen cloves, that's plenty. Then we're going to have some black peppercorns, probably another dozen of those. Now we've got to start adding our salt. Now I'm going to add in about a cup of sea salt to this lot. Now if you're in America, I would use kosher salt, which is basically sea salt. And then we've got our curing salt, pink curing salt. Now the only difference between this and normal salt is it's got sodium nitrates in it. If you don't want the nitrates, don't put it in, but it does help with the process. So you only need a couple of tablespoons of this, you don't need a shocking lot. Not much of that at all. And it is quite cheap because you don't use a lot of it. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just chuck in some cloves of garlic into there. Probably the equivalent of about 4. Remember, this is a brine. The flavours are there to, you know, just give it a little bit of flavour without overdoing the meat, you know. You just want to enhance it a bit, give it a little bit of a oomph-a-fa. Now, just going to grab our piece of Silverside and pop it in our bowl. Now I am actually going to add some more water to that because I want that completely submerged. It's been a week since I've put the Silverside in its pickling juices, and it's changed colour a bit since then, but it's still got quite a nice pinky colour to it. So what we have to do now, if you wanted to, at this point you can actually freeze it. Just put it in whatever you want to contain it to freeze it, or you can put it in the fridge and it's going to last another week. Okay, so that makes life a bit easier. Just going to pop that over there. Bring the slow cooker over here. And we're just going to pop that in there like that. Now first off, we're going to put about 3 litres of water in here. With that. And we're going to mimic a lot of the spices that we put in here so that it cooks through into the meat as well as just on the surface pickle. Now I'm just going to reuse these bay leaves because they're still fine, because they're fresh ones. Just put those straight in there. But then we're going to get some half a dozen peppercorns. Ooh. Oh, far out. Teaspoon of fenugreek seeds. About half a dozen allspice berries. 2 star anise. About a teaspoon of cumin seeds. Or jaggery, well not jaggery, jeera, whatever you want to call it. And then we're going to pop that lid on high rather, for the next 2 hours, and then we'll see what happens next. Right, it's been a couple of hours now, and if you wanted to, you could serve this perfectly fine as it is. However, we have decided to go one step further, and we're going to roast our corned beef. That is just looking amazing. It's already ready to fall apart. It's just on the edge. So we're going to pop it on a little trivet in the roasting dish, and of onions, fennel and carrot, and pop it in the oven.
Do you mind if you always put a tiny bit off so I can try it and look at it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a cut.
It's alright.
That's quite nice.
It's completely different to what you expect because it's not the stuff in the tin.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I'd like to make you a compliment.
I know.
So you can put a couple of fennel out.
You like fennel.
No, I've tried fennel in one time. I've not tried it roasted. You did it in such a way which
Yeah, I did it as onion rings.
that's the only way I liked it. You can put it in, but as long as it doesn't take the flavour of.
Okay, we'll leave them out. That's fine.
You did them as onion rings and I said it was nice.
Yeah, and then we did them as...
You only did them as onion rings.
And we did them sautéed off instead of onions for a hot dog. And you like that too?
No, you can put it in. Just put it in.
Okay.
But it's like,
I'll put one in. How's that?
yeah, well, compromise, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always give it to you.
Of course you do.
They'll give it to me though, you know what I mean?
Really?
Walking Dead.
Alright, this is going in the oven, then you can have your Walking Dead back. Right, there we go. Now we're going to put a little bit of olive oil over the top of that because obviously a lot of the fat has been cooked off. Shut up. Oh, good grief. And a little bit of salt. Give it that little bit of crispy.
You dare.
What?
Shoot loads of pepper on it.
I'm not putting any pepper on it. And it's going in the oven now for an hour. And then we'll be back.
But it is quite nice, you know what I mean?
So there we go. All done. Perfect. Let's see what Tanny thinks. You know, there's some days I think you only come over here so you can eat.
Food brings the family closer together, Mum.
Uh-huh. If you cut it the other way, so it's not so it's against the grain, not on the grain, it's actually going to fall apart a lot easier. Because you're cutting it with the grain at the moment.
Yeah.
If you cut it the other way, you're going to have smaller pieces that are literally going to just fall apart.
Yes, but with the grain, it's a lot easier because I need less resistance to cut it.
Oh. So I take it you like my corned beef then?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Give up.
It's the first time I've really roasted one.
This decade, yeah.
Well, no, because I normally just boil it.
This is true, actually, yeah.
But I roasted this one because I thought Tanny would like it better. And actually he does. But
There is a distinct lack of gravy.
there is a distinct lack of gravy. Even though I said to him, 3 times I said to that man yesterday, or asked him, do you want gravy with this? And he said no. And then it turned out halfway through eating it, he said actually it probably could have really done with gravy. Because he and I agree that I need to tweak the pickling brine.
Right.
Even though I only used a cup of vinegar, there is a slight undertone of vinegar in it, which he finds a little offensive to his palate. And it's a little bit more than I'm used to as well. I'm used to it being a little saltier than it is vinegary, do you know what I mean? But, you know, some people like it that way. You seem to be enjoying it.
I can't tell.
You can't tell.
I'm useful that way.
Yeah, you are. I'm just going to get rid of that because that's a bit scary. So, I mean, it's to people's taste at the end of the day. You know, if you don't like it one way, tweak it another way. Take less vinegar, put less vinegar in, put a little bit of extra salt. It's still going to work. It's still going to work as a pickling brine.
I think the gravy would be good. I like the butter sauce more.
Okay.
From the roasties.
Yeah.
I think that fits it better. If there was a little bit of garlic, a little bit more garlic in the butter sauce, I would say it would be fine. And maybe that garlic may have helped to smother the vinegar flavour a little bit.
Yeah. See, traditionally, it's served with a white parsley sauce.
Yes. Which is the reason why I'm enjoying the butter sauce, because it's very similar to that.
Yeah. Whereas, you know, I was a little concerned that, well, I was concerned that Tanny wouldn't eat a white sauce. I was even more concerned he wouldn't eat parsley sauce, but I didn't actually have any parsley, so I couldn't make it anyway. But he himself agrees, if we'd had at least a gravy or a sauce to go with it, it probably would have been a lot more edible for him. He did enjoy it though, and he did say it's really nice, and he really liked the roasty bits. He really liked the roasty bits. And he said, like, the endy bits, it was like getting the fat off the lamb after it's come out of the oven. So, you know, at the end of the day, it can be tweaked, and it's you don't have to do it one specific way. Like I said, I've not made it for years, decades, from scratch. So, you know, you're gonna have to tweak what you do. You know?
Well, I remember this being a staple when we grew up as kids, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because it was a cheap piece of beef. You know? It was a cheap piece of beef. So that's why it was a staple, because it went really far. And I used to be able to slice it real thin. You had it in your sandwiches for school. You know? So, yeah. But see, Tanny's only used to the stuff in the tin. He said it does have a familiar kind of thing to the stuff in the tin, because I cut it against the grain, so it kind of shredded. He said, but it's not that nasty, grainy stuff in the tin.
Yeah, stuff in the tin kind of tastes like ass.
Yeah. So
Not that I know what ass tastes like.
No. But with leftovers of this as well, you can make like a corned beef pie. And if you've got leftover veg like we do in there, and you've got leftover potatoes which you can mash down, and if you've got leftover sauce or gravy, and just stick some pastry on it. You know, so it's something that you can make into 2 really good meals and have a little bit left over to, you know, go in sandwiches and stuff for the week. So for a £9 piece of meat, it's going to go a really decent way. Of course, I have you, and a £9 piece of meat is going to last about 30 seconds.
Especially beef.
Especially beef, especially corned beef. Corned Silverside.
Doesn't matter what the cut is as long as it's beef.
Yeah. So, you know.
Not really.
And I don't mind that. You know, I don't mind that, because I know that, you know, this is the only chance or the opportunity you really have to eat it, so.
Hey, look. I am a human disposal unit.
You are.
Yeah.
And if it means that you eat properly at least once a week, then I don't mind.
You eat probably more than once a week.
Ready meals don't count, mate.
I cook.
Ready meals don't count, mate!
That's why I said I cook, not heat up.
Okay.
I did a very nice savoury mince with mac and cheese.
Okay.
It actually worked out a lot better than I thought it would.
That's okay.
I was like,
that's cool.
Well, I want the mince. I want the savoury mince, but I also want pasta.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese. Cheesiness would help the mince. pasta just helps fills it out.
Yeah.
White.
Okay. Alright, cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Action.
Okay. Thanks guys for watching this video, and if you got something out of it, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this, and give it hit the bell icon so that you'll be notified when my next videos come up. Have a really awesome rest of your day, and I will see you later on. Bye!
Bye!